Alright everyone, welcome back to another episode from this channel. Today we're going to be talking about the mid-engine Corvette, the C8, and why it is going to be something kind of special to look at. Not why it's the best car ever, because it's not. Not why it's, well, it's probably one of the best cars you're going to get for 60 grand, but of course, we won't worry about that. We'll try to be as unbiased and just lay out the facts as best as we can. The company Motor Trend, which a lot of people know, was able to get their hands on one, and it did some pretty spectacular numbers. They had to go against a Porsche Carrera or Porsche 911. I'm not quite sure which one, but they put it up against that, and it did very well, especially compared to a company that's been. I mean, most Porsches are all the same. It's just at that point, depending on the engine and whatnot that's in them, but I mean, pretty much all Porsches look the same until you get to like GT2 RS and GT3 and blah blah blah, the really, really special, specific ones. But most Porsches are just kind of dependent on the motor. And they got to do a lot of the testing for certain numbers and things like that, like figure eight testing to test like the G's and stuff like that. But I would say the biggest thing out of everything that came out was when Chevrolet released the car, revealed it earlier this year in July. They said that it was going to have a sub 3 second 0 to 60, which Motor Trend confirmed. It comes in at 2.8 seconds, which is really, really fast. And the reason, even if you don't like the car, this is good for hopefully the industry and hopefully pushing a lot of people to do better, because it is going to be. Now, they did have a 3LT model that was going to be around $80,000 and stuff like that. But this is the Stingray, this is the base model, which comes in at technically under 60 grand, 59,995 or whatever it is. And that, of course, technically, that's more what you think about when an automaker says under whatever, like, it's under $60,000 by like $5. Now, when it was going to be under 3 seconds, people thought 2.9, but it's really 2.8, and 2.8 is a bit of a big deal, especially since it's only coming with 500 horsepower and things like that. And why do I say that? Because there are certain cars that make more that cost more, that do it in less. Audi R8 does it in 3 and some odd seconds. McLaren 570S, which has, it's really like 540 horsepower or something like that. That one comes in at 3.1 or 3.4 seconds, somewhere in there, but still in the threes. Porsche 911 S Turbo comes in at 2.8, and that's a $190,000 car. Now McLaren also $100,000, depending on your R8, 100 to 200,000, things like that. And those are all supercar names. Nissan GTR does it in 3.1 or 3 seconds, something like that, like really close, but they're all doing it in a slower time, except for the Porsche 911 Turbo S, which, that's crazy that Corvette's first attempt at using a dual clutch and mid-engine platform is doing this. This is almost like harkening back to the days of when Corvette was just going crazy for races and things like that, and they made the original Corvette C2 Grand Sport that had like 500 horsepower, or something crazy that never even got put into production. But this one's being put in production, this C8, and that's awesome. And what I mean by this will hopefully affect the industry and things like that. Since it's doing so well, that might, and hopefully sales will show this. Of course, it is a little polarizing to look at. Some people like it, some people hate it. But that's how everything is. People will always say that. I like it, or some people hate it, some people love it. Like, whatever. That's for everything. I think it looks really good. But regardless, it's a mid-engine car that has some spectacular numbers that cost $60,000, depending on trim level. So, I mean, things like Ford hasn't been wowing anybody lately. They did the Ford GT500, and that is a great car. It looks really cool, but it's lackluster compared to Challenger and other cars. Now, I'm not saying that a Mustang and a Corvette are the same thing, but the Corvette's faster than Ford's Halo car, the regular just GT. And that thing looks wild. That thing has this crazy design, huge galleys for air to go through and stuff like that. Technically turbocharged, I believe twin turbo 6-cylinder. Of course, Corvette's got 2 more cylinders, but that has 2 turbos. And it's still making somewhere in the 600s in horsepower and whatnot. So, if Corvette does well, hopefully that will produce automakers to also start making their own versions of cars like these and getting the, not just bang for your buck, but the numbers at the price point, because people, well, the car industry is going down, right? People aren't buying as many new cars. It's not a big surprise. So hopefully something like this can spark a little something between automakers, and they can start producing these great vehicles that don't have to be $200,000 every single time. Not to say that the $200,000 cars aren't worth it. They're just a different animal. They have the interiors and everything like that. I mean, if you own a McLaren, they'll come pick it up from wherever just to do your service and stuff for you, for your annual servicing. Like, there's a lot that comes with those cars. Obviously, Corvette doesn't have that, really. You still do go take it to the Chevrolet dealership. But you'll be getting to that dealership very quick. Hopefully when the car comes out, we'll see how it does on tracks. Motor Trend said that it did pretty okay in corners. Some weird things with braking. They didn't quite trust the car's brakes enough, as much as they did say the Porsches that they tested. But then again, this is GM's first try, and this is the now we don't know, but we know that this is going to be the slowest, right? I'm not going to even go into what's speculated about the different engine options, the hybrid options, and stuff like that. We're just going to say that if they follow the recipe that every other Corvette has gone over, which technically they're already straying from that, we should see a Grand Sport that should be a little bit more tricked out than the Stingray, and then we should see a Z06 that is the big boy for quite some time, and then when the car's finally over, hopefully we'll see a ZR1 if it gets to have that length of lifespan. The car could not sell well at all, and they could have to axe it very soon. I mean, look at Camaro, it's not doing well. So, we'll see. But us people in America aren't quite done with cool cars yet. I mean, Challenger just outsold Mustang, which is great. That's crazy. I mean, it has never happened before. And Chevrolet might be falling behind in the truck game, but maybe they'll win some people back with this. So, I like the Corvette. You may not have to like it, but I think it's something to be followed for now, and see if it has anything else happen, any repercussions for the industry and such. I think that'll do it today. As always, like, comment, subscribe. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video.